Alright, it's October 4th. I did the red squirrel video earlier. I decided to do this one as I'm walking. The trail isn't horribly root covered. There's a southbounder called Snow that he and I have passed each other a little bit. I've been doing a little bit too much playing on the internet, talking to Mom on the internet about a coat that she ordered, so yeah, this is a nice mild bit of furniture. This is a trail whose roots are actually not so horrible. This would be, if Maine was like this the whole way, I'm sure I could find something to complain about, but I wouldn't be nearly as vindicated. So as you go through here, one of the problems is in Maine, you have all this peat and bog, and the root network snakes all the way through it. So when you change a trail to go over what's a seemingly innocent patch of pine needle floor, forest floor, I guess, you find as it erodes away that it exposes roots and rocks, eventually ending up with a near impassable, not impassable, but basically ending up with something that is highly unpleasant to walk on or hike through. You know, you can't watch the trail that you're on. You constantly have to watch your feet. And like I said, this is a very mild part of this, which is why I'm able to talk and videotape at the same time. I know that for the next little bit, I'm not going to have much of an up and down. Actually, I'm going to have a slight climb, something like in 2 miles, go up 300 feet. So that's about as slight as you get, which is actually a very comfortable climb. And if it was down in Tennessee or North Carolina or Georgia, I would count on it being a really nice hike. In Maine, and I understand Maine has some issues because of it being such a bogland, but since there are many abandoned logging roads through this area, they could reserve, the challenge hiking to the mountains. When you're bagging peaks, to just have it for the entire state to be a bloody uncomfortable mess makes it horrible. Now, the other thing is that Maine trail designers, I have nothing but the respect for the maintainers, the people who actually come out and do the work, who build stone staircases, who build bog bridges, schlepping the timbers and the rocks around on the trail until they can until it's at the place they need to use it. Those people, they're the hardest working, as far as I can tell. Well, of course, I've got a short. I've only been in 5 states, and only a little of Virginia on that one. So, but Maine works their butts off. So again, greatest love and respect for the people who are actually doing the work. My scorn is for the people who are designing and deciding where the trail goes. because it used to go on the logging roads, and they moved it off the logging roads. Now, a lot of times I'll find a trail that will parallel an abandoned logging road, by about 20 feet. And it'll just kind of wander along, and it'll cross the logging road every now and then, and being a horrible trail, whereas the abandoned logging road, which was, bulldozed and graded and, improved a little bit, decades upon decades, maybe even a century or two ago, it's they can't do that. So yeah, it'd be better on the environment for it to go on the old trail, the abandoned logging roads. Now, number two, whenever you're climbing, Maine goes straight up the mountain, and sometimes they go up chutes of rock slides. Those are interesting and challenges. I can see that. But they'll just go up a dirt slope, and you actually have to find roots in order to get a purchase in there. So for Maine, I need to send them a booklet on trail design, so they can discover what a and now I can't think of the word. It starts with an S. Where you angle back and forth. Oh, it's one of those. Of course, I'm on video while I'm getting a mind freeze on this. Switchbacks, that's it. So, of course, getting distracted by some rocks here made me remember the word switchbacks. So, again, this is fairly minor. Notice the rocks and then the roots. But see, this is kind of nice because it's not all rocks and roots. And it's got a fair amount of soil built into it. So this would be satisfactory. But combination of that practice and not using switchbacks, we talk about environmental impact for Maine, and they have to do environmental impact studies if they're going to move the trail to an obviously better location. But the environmental impact of moving it to a stable surface such as a logging road or abandoned logging road should be obvious in the face of it. So anyhow, so like I said, this has been a nice little trail. See, I'm not even having to look at most of it while I talk and narrate this video. So anyway, this is October 4th. I need to do some when I get into this next town, I'm going to see if I can find something with maybe liner gloves and some decent gloves at a thrift store. I've got, hopefully Kathleen is sending me what are essentially snow gloves from Boston, and or skiing gloves, but I need to research as to what is absolutely the best for hiking. I did buy a pair of jersey gloves today because I found that my warm gloves were too warm, and if I wore them for any length of time while I was hiking, my hands would start to sweat. And that's not comfortable. And then the moisture builds up in the gloves. So yesterday I set them out in the sun so they could, dry a little bit. But I'm going to need a different solution for long term with some winter gloves. As you can see, the sun is pretty low. I'm looking for, I guess it's going to be, it's about a mile away, I guess, is where I want to get tonight. It's supposed to rain. I'm not quite certain it'll rain. I don't see enough clouds in the west, although they may be coming from somewhere else. But I want to be snug and bedded down, by 7 p.m. And man, I ate too much in town. I actually went out for dinner last night. When I got back, I was soaking my toe, which not quite an ingrown toenail. I was clipping the nail and pulled back some flesh and along the edge, and it pulled some of the quick out from underneath the nail, and it's not wanting to scar or seal, so I'm ending up with it hurting. So last night I soaked it twice in really hot water. Today I bought some Epsom salts and I soaked it once in the Epsom salts and in really hot water, and put some Neosporin and a Band-Aid on it. So we'll see. I think I'll keep the Band-Aid on it for a couple of days, even though usually I like it. A lot of things to get the air. I'm not certain that the air is a good thing right now. Well, it's always a good thing, but I'm not certain I'm opening it up and letting the air get to it while in my sleeping bag will be a great idea. So anyhow, kind of just blathering on here. So it looks a little bit more promising. I'm going to need to get me something for my ears. I don't know if I'm going to need an extra hat, but I think I need something just for my ears. Right now I'm wearing a bandana, which keeps the sweat out of my eyes. But I'm going to need something to cover my ears while I'm hiking in the cold. And once I do that, I don't know if I think I'll get two pieces. One just for my ears, so I can wear it on days that it's not super cold, but my ears need to be protected. And two, I need a hat just to cover my head. I may need one of those balaclavas things that I can just pull up over my nose for the really bitter cold. So anyway, that's today, October 4th.